In this video, I'm going to show you how to create the template shown here from scratch. The first thing I'll do is click the New Template button, and I'm now in the template editing mode. Then, I need to bring in a background to our canvas. This will be automatically set in the middle of the canvas. This is because our parent container that I dropped it into has a center flex setting. Now I'll edit the name of the layer to be Main Background. I'm going to need two separate sides of this container, one for the image and one for the text and button, so let's add two empty containers, one for each side. I'm going to call the left container Left Side, and then I'm going to press Ctrl+D to create a duplicate of the selected layer. And I'll call this Right Side. I want both of these containers to fill the width and height of their parent container, so I'll set both of those to fill. I don't want any padding on the parent container because I want both of the child containers to stretch to the edges of the parent. Both sides are now currently taking up 50% of their parent. However, I want everything to be a little bit bigger, so let's make the background component 70 wide and 36 high. That will automatically stretch the child components to fill the new size. On the left-hand side, I know I want an image of the turbofan, so I'll drop in our image block on the left side. The green cursor you can see here shows where this component will be placed. I need a header on the right side, so I'll drag in a text label to that side. Notice here that this label was dropped right into the middle because the parent layer has a center flex setting. What I actually want is for the label to be at the top, so I'll change the flex distribution setting of the right side container to be top center. Now you can see that the text is positioned at the top of its container. To change the text in the text label, double-click it. I'll change this to Turbo Fan Training. And then let's set this to be a bold font style and change its size to 3 to give it some visual hierarchy. For the description, I'll need to bring in another text label. Notice that these labels have gone side by side. This is because their parent has a horizontal flex layout. Changing this to a vertical setting will distribute the child components properly. Double-click the text to edit it and change this to say, Learn how to disassemble a turbofan jet engine. I also want a button on this template, so I will add a button to the right side as by dragging it from the blocks window. This is looking okay, but you can notice that these components are not arranged the way we'd like as they lack the correct spacing and alignment. To fix that, let's first set the header label to fill the width, and because it has a left alignment setting on the text, it will automatically position itself to the left-hand side. I'll do the same with the description label, just to be safe. I also want to add a margin onto the header and description labels, so I can add some space between all the different components. To add a margin property, click the Additional Properties button. Then set the bottom margin to 1 on each of the labels. The button should be at the bottom of the container rather than in the middle. There's a couple of ways to do this, but the easiest one for this template is to set the height of the text to fill. That will make the text label fill the available space, which will push the button down. I am still missing the image. To add that, double-click on the image placeholder. Then search for the asset's name and double-click it in the list to add it to the template. I want this image to take up as much space as possible on its side of the template. The easiest way to do this is to keep one of the image properties set to auto and then set the other one to fill. This will automatically scale up the width of the image to fit its parent. Our background layer needs to have round corners, so add a corner radius setting of 2. And then on the left-hand side, let's add a background color to make the image pop. Notice, because this component is its own container, we are missing the rounded corner on the top and bottom left-hand sides. To fix that, add a 2-corner radius to the top and bottom left corners. That's the general layout complete. Notice if you hide one of the sides, then the other will automatically adjust its size to fill the remaining space. The last component I need to add is a Home button to the template. Select the Home button in the blocks list and drag it onto the canvas. Notice that it's been placed on the left-hand side of our dialog box. That's because the parent container has a horizontal flex setting. Notice that as I change the distribution properties of the parent, all of the child components move in unison, which is not what I want. What I actually want is the Home button to be anchored to the bottom left of the screen. To accomplish this, I'll add an absolute position property from the Additional Properties button in the Layout section. Absolute Position will override the flex property that it was previously inheriting from its parent, allowing me to place it anywhere in the canvas. Adding an X and Y offset of 2 will move the button away from the edge of the screen. Now when I select the parent container and change its flex properties, the Home button will stay fixed in place. This template is now complete, so I just need to rename it to Turbofan Training Intro, and then click the Done button, and our template is now saved and can be used on any step.